on while
camera.
you...
I think it's okay to be muted, but on screen, right, David, for the intros? Or
And I am live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to New Ambassadors Friday Night Footlights number 10. My name is David Adam Gill. I'm the Artistic Director for New Ambassadors, and we're very excited to have you here on another Friday night to entertain and hope you enjoy the readings that we've been doing in this series. I'm going to toss it over to the two curators for this evening's festivities, Monica Ray and Julia Botero.
Hi, I'm Monica Ray. I found this play, Evelyn in Purgatory, and was completely thrilled. I knew it was something different and special because it's such an ensemble piece that brings together characters from different walks of life, extremely different temperaments. They're all stuck in this room together. And they come from this career, which requires nurturing and warmth, and yet can be a real battlefield, is a really tough career. And through the course of the play, all these characters come to, you know, it's kind of, there's a critical crossroads in their life. I'll pause there. Julia?
Well, I love the play because it's a great ensemble piece, and I love ensemble pieces. I love the fact that each character goes through a transformation and you discover something new about them as the play goes along. So I'm going to introduce you now to our wonderful director, Carla Briscoe.
Hi, my name is Carla Briscoe, and Monica and Julia asked me to direct the piece. I think of it as a modern day morality tale. It's a very specific world, the infamous New York City rubber room that some teachers find themselves in. And we were very fortunate to assemble such an incredible cast. So I'd love to introduce them to you all. Playing Fred is Perrin Pimato. Reading stage directions will be Michelle Fix. Monica Ray will be reading the role of Evelyn. Andrew Griffin will be playing the part of Toby. Julia Botero will be playing Lila. Jen Bradley will be playing Roberta. Kirsten Hopkins rather, will be playing Candace. And Pierre Campbell will be playing Atwood. Without further ado, we would love to present Evelyn in Purgatory.
Evelyn in Purgatory by Topher Payne. Time, autumn 2008 through spring 2009. Act 1, Scene 1. Setting, a windowless, forgotten office in the Department of Education building in Manhattan. The carpet is stained and the room could use a fresh coat of paint. There is a desk and filing cabinet by the room's single door, which leads to the hall. A telephone and late model desktop computer are on the desk. There are 4 chairs and an artificial plant nearby, a coat rack, and absolutely nothing else. The time is autumn 2008. Discovered at Rise, Candace Metzger is seated at the desk, sorting a large stack of papers. Lila Watkins enters, carrying a large campus tote bag. Lila sits in one of the chairs, pulls a small knitting project from her bag, and commences knitting. The phone rings.
Metzger, 704. Thank you.
Evelyn Reed enters, then approaches the desk.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed, James Madison High School.
Yes.
I was told to find a room to wait in. Will any room do?
Yes.
Could I wait here?
Sign in, please.
All right. Will I be reassigned a classroom today or tomorrow?
It's different for everyone.
I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not really clear on how this works. All they told me was to come here instead of my school. Do you know what time my hearing will be?
Miss Reed. Mrs. Reed. I am just the proctor for the room. I have no information on individual cases. The way this works is you sign in and take a seat. When it is time for your hearing, they will call. Until it is time for your hearing, you wait. You will do this every day. Have a seat, please.
All right. What do you mean every day?
Mrs. Reed, please just take a seat.
Evelyn walks to a chair and sits.
You don't want to sit there.
Sorry.
That's Fred's chair.
Is Fred here?
No, but he will be soon, and that's his chair. He's very protective of his chair.
All right.
She gets up and moves to the next seat.
That's chair's taken as well, I'm afraid.
You're joking.
That's Roberta's chair. You don't want to sit in Roberta's chair.
You are aware that none of these people are in the room.
Yeah, please don't sit there. If Roberta comes in and sees you sitting in her chair, we will all suffer. Just don't sit in Roberta's chair.
I suppose the chair next to you is
Toby's. If you insist on sitting, sit in Toby's chair. It's okay. He's young. He doesn't have a backbone. It's okay. You can sit in his chair.
I'm fine, really. I'm sure it won't be that long.
Well, dear, we've been here long enough to have hierarchies of what chair is which, and really, it's going to be that long.
Are you all awaiting reassignment?
There's no reassignment ever. We are just waiting for our hearings. They're going to call you and listen and try to figure out what to do, and then you either get sent packing or you get sent back to your school.
How long does it take to get a hearing?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Okay. 1 week, 2 weeks, three weeks. What? Don't tell me I could come here every day for 3 weeks. My God.
Yeah, I mean, Toby's been here for about 3 weeks.
Okay. How long have you been here?
Well, you know, Roberta's been here since about after Labor Day, and so that's roughly about, what, 7 weeks? And Fred and I are both holdovers from, the last school year. I got here in March. Fred was January.
January. He's been waiting for 10 months.
Roughly.
Okay, that's insane. Why on earth would they keep anyone waiting that long?
Mrs. Reed, is it?
Yes. Evelyn?
Lila Watkins, art teacher Joseph P. Benson, formerly. Now I'm just an occupant of this chair. There are over 1 million students served in the New York public school system, 70,000 teachers. If any of those teachers are accused of impropriety, they are sent here to hear their case and to be reviewed in a hearing. That process takes time. And it's a measure put in place to protect the students, and it also to give the teachers due process.
Okay, so you're defending this.
The concept, yes. I mean, if the teacher's guilty, it protects the students from being placed in a potentially toxic environment. And the innocent teachers are given the opportunity to defend themselves. So much time is wasted, however. But we'll still collect your paycheck, so there's no need to worry.
But I didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent.
The claim of every man in prison. Nothing can be done. I mean, Evelyn, might as well stake out this chair now and try to find a room that has an unclaimed chair. But brace yourself. At any given time, there is several hundred teachers in this building. Every room has its own little fiefdom. I've seen fistfights. So unless you've got a good right hook, I'd grab Toby's chair and take advantage of his lack of backbone.
Evelyn sits.
Isn't there anyone you can talk to, at least to get an update?
Of course. Candace?
I'm just the proctor, Mrs. Watkins. I have no information on individual cases.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Sure thing.
So there you have it.
That's it.
Yes, that would be it. Everything I've shared with you came from other teachers. There's no official communication whatsoever.
But my students
Are in the care of a marginally qualified substitute. Do not go back to campus, right? Do not communicate with other instructors or students at your school. Both are grounds for immediate termination and loss of your teaching certificate.
like prison for teachers.
No, it's like purgatory for teachers. Welcome to the rubber room, Evelyn. You won't get signal here. I think it's all the lead paint.
Evelyn stands.
I wouldn't get out of the chair.
Evelyn sits.
Excuse me, Candace? May I use your phone?
No personal calls, Mrs. Reed.
Fleming enters, listening to an iPod shuffle. He signs in and heads for the chair occupied by Evelyn.
I'm sorry. I told
Good morning, Toby. This is Evelyn. It's her first day.
Toby looks at the other two empty chairs, heads for the corner, and begins setting up his laptop computer.
bad.
He's fine. Really, he's used to it. Did you say you taught at Madison High?
Yes, American history.
Is Elena Vargas still your guidance counselor?
Yeah, you know Mrs. Vargas?
She was at Benson before they laid her off and gave us one counselor for 5 schools. Now our students can only have problems on Thursdays. I was a reference for her when she interviewed at Madison. I haven't spoken to Len in years.
No, we agreed on Thursday. We weren't going to take on anyone new. Just saying.
Toby, this is not a clubhouse. People can come and go as they wish.
I'm sorry. You can have the chair. I'll take the floor.
No. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm just saying. We agreed after Harold left is all. There was an agreement.
I agreed to nothing. Toby dear, I was sitting here knitting.
The time is now 8 a.m.
Candace takes the clipboard off her desk and replaces it with another holding a red piece of paper.
Doesn't do that every hour, does she?
It means the day has begun.
What do we do?
Exactly what we're doing. Nothing. But Fred and Roberta are now officially late to do nothing. Hey, I have a trashy magazine if you'd like.
Metzger, 704. Watkins, Lila, Reed, Evelyn, Fleming, Toby.
Don't hang up!
She hangs up. Fred DeSalvo rushes in. He looks at the red sheet on the desk.
Oh, come on, lady, give me a friggin' break. 1 minute late. I was waiting for the elevator. Call me in. Tell me you missed my name.
I can't do that. I don't make the rules, Mr. DeSalvo.
Yeah, so what do you care if we bend them a little? I mean, 1 minute, come on.
Sign in, please.
Gerda Burke enters.
You've already called in, haven't you?
As my job requires me to do every day at 8, Mrs. Burke.
1 frickin' stupid minute. I mean, come on.
Oh, God, you with the phone and you got a sick little thrill out of having them dock our checks, don't you? You sadist.
The buses go as fast as they go, lady. We don't control it.
I am an old woman. What? I run up the stairs, I slip, I break a hip. Is that what you want? A poor defenseless old woman lying at the bottom of the stairs, moaning in agony.
I'm just doing my job, Mrs. Burke.
Look, O'Brien.
My name is Metzger, Candace Metzger.
Read 1984. You're O'Brien in the flesh. Now break free of Big Brother and give me the damn white clipboard, you fascist.
We don't do anything in here. Why the hell does it matter? I'm not signing it.
We refuse. We protest.
If you don't sign in on the tardy sheet, you will be marked as absent from the reassignment center for the day. 3 unapproved absences will result in immediate termination.
God's sake.
Fred signs in, Roberta signs in. They both turn to face the room, focusing on Evelyn.
I thought we had an agreement.
Thank you.
Roberta, honestly.
We said after the black guy left, we weren't taking any more strays.
His name was Harold, Coach, not the black guy. Why would you even point that out?
I was just describing the guy.
There are other rooms, many other rooms. This place is a hive.
Perhaps I should go.
If you go to another room, you have to sign in as a tardy. They cut your pay when you're tardy. Toby, sit.
Toby sits.
Evelyn, you can stay with us for the morning and find another room after lunch if she wishes. And as far for you, the two of you, nobody took your chair, so I fail to see how this is any real concern of either of you. Everyone just take your seats.
Fred and Roberta sit. Fred begins playing solitaire. Roberta digs through her tote bag and pulls out a plastic sign reading janitorial. She goes to the door.
What are you doing?
I pulled it off a door downstairs. This way nobody else will come in.
Mrs. Burke, you cannot do that.
What's the problem here? The janitor already knows where his closet is. He doesn't need signage.
Mrs. Burke, if you put the sign up, I will remove it.
And then I will put it back up again. We could fill this whole morning with that little game.
No.
Come on.
Show me in writing the rule against labeling rooms as janitor supply closets, and I will put this away.
I am certain there is a rule against it.
Well, you let me know when you find it.
She attaches the sign and slams the door.
Sure wish I'd thought of this yesterday.
So, Evelyn, what are you in for?
You don't have to answer that.
Yes, she does.
It's all a horrible mistake. I prefer not discussing it if that's all right.
If you don't tell us, I will make something up and report it as fact. I don't get a lot of entertainment around here.
She will. She'll make something up. None of the Puerto Rican teachers will talk to me. They won't say why, but I know it was her.
I'll tell you why I'm here. Because the whole school system's gone straight to hell.
Really, Fred? I thought it was because you broke a kid's wrist.
Shut up. See, these two Hell's Kitchen punks gang up on a sissy kid in the hall.
Hell's Kitchen's punks? When does this story take place? 1960?
No, shut up. You'll get your turn.
It's not exactly West Side Story over there anymore. Most of it's gone condo. I'm just saying.
There's still people there from the old neighborhood, and their kids are punks. So they grab this scrawny kid, start beating the crap out of him. I step in, try to stop it. They fight me, I fight back. I mean, what am I supposed to take that? Let these little jackasses take a swing at me, so I knock his ass on the ground. He breaks his wrist. Here I am, almost a year now. Kid's still in school, not even a frickin' detention for him. 20 years ago, hell, 10 years ago, I would have been doing my job. Now I'm some kind of criminal. Whole system gone straight to hell.
Candace rises quickly and exits. They all watch, and Evelyn looks back for explanation.
We don't know where she goes. She just does that sometimes.
They want to cut my art classes at my school. Something must be eliminated. And somehow we have reached a point where fostering creative expression is no longer a necessity. But my students are artists. They win awards, national. They go on to Pratt, DePaul, Parsons. You can't cut funding for a program like that.
That's wonderful.
And the principal, who's a former football coach, with whom I have exchanged no end of unpleasantries, claimed I was insubordinate, hostile, which is absurd. In the 70s, I lived in a communal household with 14 people. I know how to be a team player. But the accusation was all it took. I was sent here, and now my program is dying.
It's a Holocaust.
And I'll remain here until I have no job to go back to, and then I will be dismissed.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it just aches for my students. I mean, they won't all be athletes and math scholars. Some of them are artists, and they just need an instructor who's going to trust and believe in them. We're taking that chance away. I mean, it breaks my heart.
It didn't used to be such a GD battle. You're on your own out there. It's not worth it.
Roberta is here by choice.
Beg your pardon?
I kept seeing teachers being sent here for months on end, collecting a check, not having to put up with the hoochie coochie we now laughingly call public schools. And there I was, retirement just within reach, trying to sell Shakespeare to gangbangers when I could be sitting on my duff with a good book. Sign me up, sounds like a sweet deal to me.
So, what did you do?
This is great.
You know the little monsters who wear their pants saggy, underwear on full display?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I had this one in particular. I've intentionally forgotten his name. If it wasn't his pants, he was sleeping in class, back talk, or texting. One glorious Thursday, I asked him to come to the board and list the major characters in Pride and Prejudice. In his childlike hand, he scrawled Stewie, Meg, Peter, Quagmire.
From Family Guy, the cartoon.
Right.
So I pantsed him. I grabbed his fully exposed red boxer shorts and I pantsed the little bastard. Let him display his pockmarked tuchus to the whole class. He'd been figuratively showing his ass since September. The literalism was pure heaven. Next day, I grabbed a copy of Mansfield Park and came here.
God, Roberta, that's horrible.
Oh, don't lie. It's fabulous. I had 40 years of teaching on my side. It was obviously a momentary lapse brought on by stress. I was contrite in my hearing. They understood.
I'm confused. You've already had your hearing?
She's had 3.
I haven't spent more than 6 weeks in a classroom in the last 2 years. I wasn't nearly as poetic with the other offenses, for the best, really. How could I top the first time?
Sequels never live up to the original.
A few well-chosen profanities in front of the Catholics will get you out of there pretty quick. If my next hearing doesn't happen until spring, I can retire without ever going back.
You should be in your classroom, Roberta. Your students need you. It's such a waste.
They don't need me. They need someone who still cares. I keep suffering momentary lapses brought on by stress.
Well, what about you, Toby? Why are you here?
I suffered a momentary lapse brought on by stress.
Toby's lapse was genuine.
I thought it would be different.
First year teaching?
Hey, that break wasn't authorized, lady. Didn't ask permission.
Better sign the red sheet.
I have different rules.
What do you teach, Toby?
Earth science and chemistry. I love science. I had terrible teachers when I was a kid, but I still loved it. And I always thought if I could get in a classroom, show them why it's awesome, what makes it spectacular, I could inspire them. But I didn't. I couldn't.
Metzger 704. Tardy report. DeSalvo, Fred. Bite my Burke, Roberta. This is an official document, Mrs. Burke. Your use of profanities will be on the record and could affect the outcome of your hearing.
You wanna mess with me, Missy? Show me what you got. Let's dance.
You were saying, Toby?
It was just this maze of bureaucracy and pointless crap, and the administrators had this hive brain like Borge, and I was always getting stonewalled and shot down. They didn't want you to innovate, just get them ready for testing. One day, my kids were supposed to be doing this stupid essential skills test that means absolutely nothing, and they just wouldn't shut up. And
He started crying like a girl.
shut up, Fred.
He cried through a globe.
The first year is hard on every instructor.
Picked up the whole world and hurled it.
Very metaphorical. Atlas throws a tantrum.
How'd you pitch it, Toby? Underhanded or over your head?
Fred, I've got a pretty good feeling you're not missed at your school.
Hey, rookie. It's coaches like me who kept Hell's Kitchen boys from busting your skull in high school. Now they send us to the rubber room. Who's gonna keep sissies like you alive?
I'm not a sissy, Fred. I'm a geek. There's a difference.
Drama club, AV club, same thing. Not one of you can throw a damn ball.
My principal's doing what she can to, speed things along, so we'll see. It'll get better when I go back. You just got to deal with the disappointment, I guess.
No, Toby, the situation doesn't change. Your expectations do. Evelyn, your turn.
It's not her turn. This is not group therapy.
It's only fair. Well, Natalie Clark, one of my seniors, in my class for the second time. I tried working with her, but nothing changes. She doesn't care. 6 weeks in, she's already failing. I told her last week, she doesn't change her course, she's likely to not graduate. Natalie threw a fit, said I'm out, I'm against her, I'm have it out for her. Then yesterday, she told the principal that she saw me in my classroom kissing the captain of the track team.
Oh, crap.
Was it true?
Absolutely not. It's absurd. Anyone who knows me would say so. The girl's a liar.
Could happen. Athletes mature faster.
No, they don't.
How do you know?
I am married, happily, and I would never, I denied it vehemently, and the boy denied it, but my principal says they still have to investigate, hold a hearing. What is there to investigate when everyone involved says it didn't happen?
Well, they'll talk to your students, your colleagues, see if anyone else saw you behaving inappropriately with the boy.
Maybe you'll get to see the shrink. That's a load of laughs.
This is humiliating.
This is due process.
This is a load of crap.
Evelyn, I hope your situation is resolved quickly.
It won't be, but you go ahead and hope.
There is nothing more dangerous than a child who lies. Nothing. They can destroy entire institutions. And this generation, God help us. The children feed on this culture of victims like ciphers, like living in the crucible.
We did that play my junior year. First show they did after we put in the new sound system, and then they had barely any cues.
That's what you remember from the crucible, the absence of musical numbers.
Not musical numbers. I could have done ambient noise, environmental sounds, set a mood.
Oh, what? Well, we were supposed to read that in school, but I didn't.
Then how did you pass English?
I was a quarterback.
Some problems are not new.
You missed out on one of the greatest dramatizations of American hysteria ever written. Back me up on this, Lila.
Actually, I never read it either.
Evelyn?
I saw Death of the Salesman.
Well, that's not the same damn thing, is it?
It's Arthur Miller.
Oh, for God's sake. It should be required reading.
It is. We just didn't do it.
Oh, forget it.
We could read it here. I mean, we've got all this time on our hands. Why not put it to good use? It'd be like a book club.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Well, participation isn't compulsory, but the rest of us, we could meet maybe twice a week. Hopefully we'll all be gone before we're done with the play.
Aw, God bless your naivete. Well, why not? We could use an activity. Safeguard our brains against atrophy. Toby, you'll do it too.
Why do I have to if Fred doesn't?
Because there's still hope for you.
All right. I'll go to Barnes and Noble tonight. But you should know, I have impossibly high standards.
Don't worry, Roberta. We'll keep our pants up.
Lights fade. Scene 2. 3 weeks later, Roberta, Evelyn, and Lila have pulled their chairs together. Toby sits at their feet. Each is holding copies of The Crucible, except for Lila, who is knitting. Fred is playing solitaire. Candace is at her desk typing.
My point is, John still believes that his reputation and the lack of any evidence will exonerate him. He believes in the system. All he's asking for is fairness.
But he shouldn't expect fairness, not from them. There's no reason. That's why they call it a witch hunt.
The temptation to abuse absolute power is too tasty. Why, just look at Candace. Give her a telephone and a clipboard and she thinks she's Margaret Thatcher. But you never see it as abusive if you agree with them. It's only an abuse of power in the eyes of the dissenter.
Okay, I get all that, but at some point, you got to look around and see the world you're living in and find a way to survive. It's basic human instinct, survival. Proctor could have just signed the damn paper, said he's a warlock, and skipped town with Liz. Start over.
Because he has no control over what happens after he gives in. If he just tells them what they want to hear, it gives them all the power because now they're in charge. The mistake he makes is letting them put him on the defensive.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be in his position?
The council has no evidence, and John knows it. He doesn't have to prove he isn't a witch. They have to prove he is.
Or he could simply remain silent. I mean, why doesn't he just refuse to participate in their little game?
Because it's his name, people. Come on, it's all he has left. You're not testing integrity until you're doing it in hostile territory. Christ, I mean, do you people even get this guy at all? Even if he ditches town, he'll always know the name John Proctor is worthless someplace, and he won't sleep at night.
Go on, Fred.
I've been listening to you hens cluck about this stupid play for weeks now, and you've been missing the simplest concept. Valuing honor over saving your own skin. That's what character is, people.
But when Elizabeth lies to cover for John's adultery, is that a show of strength or weakness in her own character?
She lies, she loses. Even though she didn't know it, if she just told the truth and said he'd banged that cuckoo Abigail chick, they would have been home in time for supper. You lie, you lose. Every time.
I'm afraid history disagrees with that assessment, Fred.
Well, history agrees. Watergate, Monica Lewinsky, you lie, you lose.
They didn't lose because they lied. They lost because they got caught. Plenty of people in power have lied to save their own skin, but when it works, nobody even knows.
Is that what you tell your students?
I tell them, if you want to make history, you need the strength of your convictions. And as long as you win, you're celebrated.
And if you lose?
Well, then generally you're forgotten entirely. If the Revolutionary War had turned out differently, George Washington would be a historical footnote who was hanged as a traitor, and we'd all have British accents.
And better TV shows. BBC America kicks ass.
Candace runs out the door.
And there she goes.
Where she stops, nobody knows.
Fred, you've inspired such lively discussion.
Welcome to the book club.
I'm not in your damn club.
Well, you've obviously been paying attention.
Not really. So I'll tell you something. I knew a Mary Warren once. Ugly woman. No neck. My wife made our boy take piano from her for about a minute. Couldn't stand her. Said her house smelled like onions.
I didn't know you had a son.
Yeah. Freddie Jr. You got kids, Lila?
Oh, yes. 2 girls. Lynn works in an accounting office here in the city, and Maureen's a bank teller up in Albany.
Neither of them went artsy fartsy for you?
No, I think being utterly conventional was their form of rebellion.
Wait, seriously, you people have been in the same room all this time and you never talked about your families?
You've been in here like 3 weeks and you haven't brought it up either.
Well, yeah, we talked about plenty of other things, where we went to school, food allergies. I'm not criticizing, I'm just surprised. But what about you, Roberta? Any kids?
No, wanted. Didn't happen for either of us.
Could have adopted.
Oh, really, Lila? Adoption, you say? Wow, we never thought of that. Gordon had cancer twice. Nobody wanted to give us a baby because of the risk of it coming back. As though perfectly healthy people don't get cancer after they have kids, but there you go. So it was just us, and that was fine until the cancer came back. So maybe those bastards were onto something after all. Someone else talk.
Candace returns and sits at the desk.
Toby, you don't have children, do you?
No, but I want them. I mean, one day. Gotta find a wife first, but yeah, I love kids. I'd love a son or a daughter, but something about guys and sons, I guess. Be a Boy Scout leader, play catch.
Gotta learn how to throw a ball.
Fred, I know how to throw a ball. I just derive no pleasure from doing it.
You are such a weirdo.
Evelyn, kids?
No, we want to wait until we're a little more settled when the timing's right.
Timing's never right. You just gotta do it. Figure it out. Kids are messy and pricey. No way around it. Just jump in.
I agree. If you both know you want it, just start trying. You never know what's going to happen.
Hey, Candace, you married?
Oh, come on, Candace. We're having a nice moment here. Don't be a wet blanket.
Now, Candace has work to do.
We were trying to include her.
She's not married. No ring. I checked.
Well, that answers the kid question.
Oh no, now you've done it.
Done what? What did I do?
Nothing, just nothing. Talk to each other.
Why on earth would we talk to each other when this is so much more compelling?
You've hurt her feelings.
Oh, come on. Candace doesn't have feelings. Or, I mean, she didn't until now, and who could have planned for that?
Just hush, you Neanderthal. She's pregnant.
You are not.
But what makes you think?
Oh, well, my dear, you stopped drinking coffee 2 months ago. And lately you've had worse morning sickness than I did with Maureen. You're like second trimester.
16 weeks.
Come here, dear.
She pushes Candace in the rolling desk chair over to the group.
Well, congratulations, Candace. That's wonderful.
No, it isn't.
Who's the father? Do you know the father?
Well, Roberta, of course she knows the father.
Sort of.
What the hell's that mean?
Were you drugged at a party?
Roberta.
They call them roofies.
It was just this guy from my building, Noah. We got to talking at the mailboxes one day, and he mentioned he had the complete series of Lost on DVD. I had never seen it because I don't have cable and I get bad reception on ABC. So he started bringing the DVDs over, and we'd watch an episode or two, and then we'd talk about it, and then we'd have sex. I really got into it. Lost, I mean, the sex is just okay, but it became like a little routine, and I find routines very comforting, you know?
Yes, routines are comforting.
Noah didn't use condoms because he said he had this latex allergy, which I never really believed, but I was on the pill and I knew he was safe. He was one of those guys Jewish people hire to sit with their dead people, and he had cauliflower ears from wrestling in high school. It's not like he was some stud. Who would sleep with that?
Depends on what's on television, apparently.
I was on antibiotics because I'd had strep, and I didn't know that made my pills stop working. And then he moved out a few weeks before I found out, and I didn't even know his last name. He was just Noah, the dead people sitter who I slept with through 6 seasons of Lost and then maybe 4 episodes of Breaking Bad, but I just couldn't get into it. And oh my God, why in the name of Christ am I still talking?
She breaks away, rolling her chair back to the desk.
You should really give Breaking Bad another chance. It gets pretty awesome later on. Well, fine. Someone else say something.
It's okay, Candace. Really, Nelson Mandela was an unplanned pregnancy.
Edgar Allan Poe.
So is Oprah, and look how she turned out.
Jesus.
Fred, also Jesus. You're gonna be just fine.
Of course. Thank you all for your concern. I apologize. I need to get back to work now.
Now, Candace, sweetheart.
I am still the proctor in this room, Mrs. Watkins. I need to get back to work.
Okay, of course.
Candace starts to leave.
Oh, Candace, don't leave.
I have no choice. I gotta pee. Again.
She exits. Evelyn goes to her briefcase and removes a folder. She sits and begins filling out forms.
Wow. If only she had cable.
Fred.
I'm sorry, but not even knowing the guy's last name?
That is kind of sad. Not as sad as the poor SOB having cauliflower ears, but it's sad.
A wrestler? At least he was an athlete.
If rolling around with another guy in spandex makes you an athlete, there's some undiscovered talent in the West Village.
Well, the father's out of the picture anyway. Extracurriculars are, well, they're irrelevant.
Well, it's done now. We have to help her.
Really?
She's a GD wreck. The child won't survive its first night alone with her. So we will help. If there's anything public school teachers know how to deal with, it's unplanned pregnancies.
She needs to watch her diet, exercise, vitamins she's got to take.
There you are, Fred. Make a plan for her. We should be writing this down.
We can have PE every afternoon. Do it together.
You really won't be satisfied until we have a full roster of activities in here, will you?
Nope.
Roberta pulls a cell phone from her purse.
Whose phone is this?
Jesus, there it is. I've been looking for it since yesterday. What's it doing in your purse?
Well, apparently that's where I put it when I stole it. I'm old. I can't account for all of my actions.
My wife jumped down my throat for losing that damn thing.
Oh, do you need an apology? Because if it means that much to you, I can make that happen. But I'd be apologizing for something I don't remember doing, so it won't be all that sincere.
What are you working on, Evelyn?
The union finally mailed paperwork. I'm filing a complaint.
About what?
About what? About this, the rubber room.
You're wasting your time.
Maybe I am, but every day I'm not at my school is another day Natalie Clark is walking around saying whatever she likes. I'm trying to clear my name. I can't just sit here and do nothing.
Just like John Proctor.
And in the meantime, I will continue with the book club and PE for Candace.
I could teach her to knit.
Oh, fabulous. I can learn too.
I'm not knitting. I don't have to. I want that acknowledged.
Candace returns. Everyone looks at her.
We're going to help you, Missy.
I'm sorry.
The father is off to points unknown, keeping corpses company. You need help preparing for this child.
I'm giving the baby up for adoption.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
All the more reason to get to work. The manufacturer doesn't skimp on parts and labor just because they're not keeping it at the factory. Fred will be your personal trainer. Lila will teach you to knit booties. Evelyn and Tony's responsibilities will be assigned later.
I know French.
How does that help?
Just what I've got. I teach history. My options are limited.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun. Ooh la la. You know, we had a French-Canadian woman back in the collective. Genevieve was her name. She spoke flawless English until you asked her to pitch in and wash a dish or something, and then she'd go back, Je suis désolée. I was not a fan of that woman.
Remember when we used to just come in and do our own thing? That wasn't so bad. I had my own projects.
You can do your own projects at home. This is our project now.
What's the catch?
There's no catch.
Yeah, there is. That tardy clipboard, you won't be needing it anymore.
Fine.
Oh, man. This is a very good day.
Phone rings. Candace answers.
Metzger, 704. Yes? Of course. Thank you. Change in plans. Mrs. Burke, it's time for your hearing.
Roberta is caught in a single overhead light. All others depart.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Burke. My name is Miss Atwood. These are my colleagues, Mrs. Martinez, Mr. Chen, and Mr. Hughes. We appreciate you coming in. According to your file, this is your third suspension from your position as an English teacher at PS 482 Paul Robeson Complex, Bronx. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Mrs. Burke, after 40 years without incident or complaint, you have been suspended for a series of infractions in the last 2 years, most recently for using profanities in the presence of students. Do you care to explain?
Yes, Ms. Atwood. In recent years, I found myself unprepared for the change in attitudes of my students, as well as the shifting expectations of my own position as their instructor. I allowed my own frustration to lead to a series of unfortunate moments. I am confident that once I return to my classroom, the Department of Education will be pleased with my restored commitment to my students' subject aptitude, test scores, and overall well-being. I can only offer my sincere apologies for my past lapses in judgment.
Mrs. Burke, given your long-standing commitment to New York Public Schools, we are reinstating you in your position at PS 482. Return to your classroom as usual tomorrow morning. We wish you all the best. Let's keep a lid on the sailor talk, all right?
Absolutely, Ms. Atwood. Thank you for your time.
Blackout. Scene 3. 1 month later. A small Christmas tree is on Candace's desk. Music in the style of Dean Martin plays. Lila, Toby, and Candace are all in workout clothes lifting free weights. Fred walks amongst them in a sweatsuit, wearing a whistle around his neck.
Nice and easy, Lila. Don't jerk those hips up. Just a slow, fluid motion. Rushing it won't get you in shape any faster. It only leads to injuries, ladies. You hear that, Toby?
Bite me, coach.
Attaboy. Working out the spine a little too. Come on, just 7 more. Candace, count us down.
In French.
Set, six, cinq, quatre, trois, deux, un.
Lila, good form. You're getting some good results there.
I just want to reach a point where my parts of my body don't unexpectedly flap in a strong wind.
Ladies, rest. Toby, chest flies. 3 sets of 12.
Toby drops to the floor as Fred takes Candace's weights and the others set theirs down and drink water. Fred stops the music.
Oh, time check.
I've got 10 after 1.
Evelyn enters holding a large folder.
I got it. I got my file.
Your lawyer got him to release it?
Well, with help from the union, even if I don't know when my hearing is, at least I can prep for it.
Well, I've never seen one. Does it have letters of support?
Bunches. I haven't been through it all yet. There's at least one for Natalie Clark. It's from her minister. He'd have to say something nice.
Oh, God. I'm dying. I'm going to drop these on my face.
Well, keep going until you do.
Shh. Bonjour. Afternoon report. Metzger, 7:04. No tardies, none absent. À la prochaine. Bon après-midi.
Pronunciations really improved, Candace.
I got a collection of Celine Dion's French albums on eBay.
Evelyn, what else is in the file?
Well, it's mostly annual evaluations, test scores.
Stupid evaluations. Isn't that a laugh? We tell the kids stuff's going on their permanent record, but we're the ones who really have them.
Well, oh my God. Natalie Clark's mother wrote a letter supporting me.
Oh, holy crap, there's your winner.
That's so sad. I mean, it's wonderful for you, but...
Any letters against? I bet I got a few against me.
Oh, Fred, I'm sure no one wrote anything against you.
I'm not so sure. You can only make a geek play dodgeball so many times before he composes a strongly worded letter.
Quit stalling.
I'm done. You're killing me. I need hydration.
Wimp.
Nazi.
I'll bet Lila's kids wrote letters.
Oh, I don't care if they wrote letters. I mean, I just hope they keep up with their art, you know? I mean, my juniors from last year they're applying to colleges. They're getting their portfolios are due right after the new year. And well, I'm obsessing about that. When I should really do is think about what I'll do when I lose my job. I should quit now. Find something.
Lila, if your position is eliminated, you could be a proctor. Brain-damaged house cat could be a proctor.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
You know what I mean. It's just playing warden and entering old mimeographed school records into that dinosaur computer.
Is that what you do?
I don't think my bosses even know what I do. Nobody checks.
Oh, everyone. While we're on break, I have a little something for all of you.
She reaches into her tote bag and pulls out several wrapped packages.
Are those Christmas presents?
Might be. Let's see. Evelyn, you all right there?
I'm sorry, I got a little engrossed in reading.
Well, this is for you.
Oh, Lila, you didn't have to get me anything.
Well, I didn't really get you anything. I mean, you all been watching me sit here working on them for months. I mean, it shouldn't even be a surprise.
The group opens their gifts, each producing a handmade sweater.
Oh, how lovely.
Well, get a load of this.
You said you were knitting these for your daughters.
Well, I lied. My daughters told me they are completely stocked up with all knitted items for the rest of their lives. Candace, I made yours a little oversized, so you'll get enough use out of it. When you return to your usual size, you can just cut it back open and would it make it a slanket?
Or a snuggie, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Lila. It's getting so hard to find anything to wear. I'm gonna go put it on.
Hey, Metzger, haven't released you yet.
We're done, coach. Rushing won't get us in shape any faster and will only lead to injuries.
Candace exits.
Hey, everyone, put on your sweaters. I want to see how they fit. Evelyn?
Lila, I just need a second, okay? Wait.
Fred, sweater.
Toby and Fred put their sweaters on.
Oh, Toby. Oh. Come here. Your sleeves are too long, aren't they? Oh. By the way, Fred, I have to compliment your stellar instruction on our workout plans.
Lila's right, Fred. I feel great. I mean, not right now. Right now I want to die. But in general.
Stand still, Toby.
Kind of nice to man up for once, isn't it, boy?
And I no longer feel great. I just tried to be nice there. You all saw it.
Come on, Toby, just busting your balls.
You acknowledge I have balls. That's good.
Boys, 'tis the season to be jolly. Evelyn, he looks all right if we just cuff the sleeves like this. I mean, don't you think?
Lila, I just need 1 sec, okay?
Oh, God, maybe bell sleeves look a little feminine.
Then it's perfect.
Fred.
Come on, rookie. If you're gonna go back into that classroom, you gotta learn to man up. Grow a set.
Fred, I like watching Stargate, not painting my toenails, okay? Why can't you just hold me to the Crucible model? I'm a hardworking man who understands the value of my name and reputation. Yeah, I'm John Proctor, without the hanging.
I mean, we should read another play. That was fun.
Fine. You're a nice kid, Toby. Forget about it.
Nice kid, but not a man,
I didn't say that.
because I'm not tough.
You've never been challenged. You give up. You cry. You throw globes. You're the poster child for what happens to boys who don't play team sports. You're soft. You're weak.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing we
Let
dismay.
me ask you something, Fred.
What?
What sport does your son play?
The hell does my son have to do with anything?
Theory I'm working on. I know you had Freddie Jr. in uniforms before he was out of diapers. What's his sport?
Freddie Jr. did it all in high school, kid. Baseball, football, basketballs, on the golf team, tennis, did hockey.
And never found one he did well.
Why don't you stand still, please, Toby?
He couldn't decide between them. Renaissance man.
How about college? He's still in school? Play anything now?
Yeah, why don't you just quit asking me about my kid?
Is he soft, Fred? The boy who bears your name? Is he weak?
This conversation is not in any way productive.
And not now, Lila.
Now shut your trap about my son, Toby.
See, I got this theory. You never liked those types, but you got stuck with one in your own house. And now it's making you freaking nuts. You couldn't toughen up your own namesake. And every guy you meet like me reminds you that with the only one who mattered, you failed. Am I right?
You don't know shit about anything, you little prick.
I think I'm right. I am dead on here. Does he even talk to you? Oh, shit. You got a gay kid, Fred.
Stop it, Toby. Evelyn, a little help here.
Not now, Lila.
No, it's okay, you guys. I'm just busting his balls. Right, coach? You're still smarting over your kid not being the quarterback or whatever your damn ESPN macho horseshit expectations were. You pull that crap with me, you do it to your students, and you probably still do it to your son. When is the game going to be over, coach? When are you going to concede defeat? You want to talk about being a real man, Fred? Try showing some respect.
You're done. We're done. Come tomorrow, you get yourself a new room. You're out. We are done here. You understand me?
You're not in charge here.
If I see you in here tomorrow, I will break your goddamn nose. You try me, I will put you in the hospital. You got me?
Candace enters. Her sweater looks more like a poncho.
Oh God, I look like Mama Cass.
It's my fault. I should have measured you.
No, Lila, it's a beautiful sweater, really.
No, dear. I overestimated everything. I mean, look at Toby. His sleeves look like Elizabethan costume.
It's not the sweater, it's me. I feel like somebody inflated me. I can't tie my shoes anymore. I could still do it this morning. I've actually gotten bigger since this morning.
It's okay. I got your shoes, Candace.
Toby kneels, tying her shoes.
Fred DeSalvo, everyone in this room will be here tomorrow. End of discussion. You're too damn old to act like a bully.
Lila grabs her tote bag and dress from the coat rack and starts for the door. She stops at Evelyn.
Evelyn, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Sorry. There's just so much information to process here. Je suis désolée. Go get changed. I'm gonna try my sweater. I love the color so much.
Lila exits as Evelyn folds a document and puts it in her purse.
Is it ready?
What?
The surprise ready.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
Bring it to my desk.
Toby grabs his laptop, sets it on the desk.
What's up with you, Evelyn? Find a letter against?
No, I'm just trying on my sweater for Lila. Pay me no mind.
I get it. Gonna take his side.
I barely heard the exchange. I'm not on anyone's side. Let me be. I'm not involved.
Oh, there's a first. You're the one pushing us to be open, be buddy-buddy in here, but you don't say one damn thing about yourself. You got talent. Kind of spooky.
All I want is to go back to my life, Fred.
Toby, what is this on your laptop?
Nothing?
Are you writing a screenplay, Toby?
It's just a stupid thing I'm toying around with.
Can I read it?
No.
What if it's good?
What if it's not?
What's it about?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on, Toby, please.
This astronaut, he was on a space station alone, and he went crazy from just the loneliness, the monotony, and he's in deep space. They can't send him back to Earth, so they send him to this other space station with other astronauts who also
Went space crazy.
yeah, and they're all awaiting mission reassignment. But then this evil alien queen recognizes their weakness and attacks. And they all go to this planet where the women have wings, and it's totally stupid. I know.
I'd watch that.
Yeah?
Totally. Wouldn't you, Evelyn?
Heck yeah, I would.
Types and clicks.
Here we go.
Evelyn, you're a genius.
Toby made it happen. I just had the idea.
Lila enters dressed with her gym bag.
Lila, you've got to come see this.
Did we get internet in here?
Yeah, Candace snuck into an office upstairs and I set up a wireless router from their server.
Yes, would have sufficed. I didn't understand anything after that.
Come sit. Look at this.
Lila sits at the desk as Fred goes to Evelyn's purse and pulls the folded document. He goes to his chair and reads, covering it with a newspaper.
What do you see, Lila?
A painting?
Be more descriptive. Critique it.
Why?
Just play along.
All right. A street scene. The use of color is good. I mean, it's hard to tell on the computer, but based on the blending and textures, it looks like oil on masonite. The shapes aren't sharp enough for realism, but they're also not off kilter enough for impressionism. So, I mean, there's room to grow in one direction or the other. Whose painting is it?
Ricky Torrance.
From my school? Oh, did he start a website?
No, we did.
Evelyn had your students scan their portfolios.
While we're not allowed to contact our own students, there's no rule against contacting each other's. And you were so worried about your seniors getting their projects together before the holidays, so Toby set up a site.
But isn't this against the rules?
You're nowhere near them. All you're doing is looking at a website.
You know they need you, Lila. It's not the best case scenario, but you can teach from a distance.
And they've recorded videos with questions showing you their process. It's pretty great.
He hands her a headset.
Wait, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. So I guess I have work to do.
Evelyn goes to her chair and spies her purse open.
Give it back, Fred.
What's that?
You stole something from my purse. Please return it.
What are you missing, Evelyn?
There's a letter inside that newspaper, and it doesn't belong to you.
Letter? From who?
Fred, you're angry with Toby, not me. Don't bring me into this.
You've been here for months. We don't know the first thing about you.
That is simply untrue. Don't be like this. We're all friends here.
Ah, come on. You're soft and sweet, just want everyone to be friends, do little activities. I think it's all smoke and mirrors, Evelyn. We don't actually know anything about you. Your husband seems to know a lot about you, though. That's why he wrote a letter supporting Natalie Clark.
What's going on?
Nothing. Ask Evelyn. Ask Evelyn anything. Try to get a straight answer.
He hands Evelyn the letter.
Evelyn, what was that about?
Oh, Fred, he's such a caveman. He said some inappropriate things about unwed mothers. I disagreed, and he got all defensive.
What did he say?
Oh, honey, I'm sure he wasn't talking about you specifically.
I can't believe you do that.
You know how he can be. Just give him some space.
The door opens. It's Roberta.
I had another lapse.
Oh my word.
You didn't.
It's not my fault. The stress, it got to me. Happens around the holidays. I brought 6 copies of Lord of the Flies, Susan.
I'm gonna miss my chair.
I brought my own. Got it as far as the elevator. Go get it.
Sure.
Toby exits.
Ugh. Why are you all dressed alike? Are they making us wear uniforms now?
Christmas presents from Lila.
You look like an Osmond family portrait. Lila, have you taken up telemarketing?
Not now, dear. I'm grading portfolios.
We found a way for her to teach.
Oh, well, good for Lila.
I'm gonna go hold doors for Toby.
You're in a delicate condition. Make Fred do it.
I'm not asking him for anything.
She exits.
He's gonna bang the hell out of my chair if he's not careful. I better supervise. Nobody go anywhere.
Roberta exits.
Yeah.
Evelyn looks at Lila, then goes to Fred. She stands over him, modeling her sweater.
What?
I'm showing you my sweater. Lila can't hear us. Just look at my sweater. Fred, I want you to pay very close attention because I'm only going to say this once. I'm here for one reason, to clear my name. That is my problem, so that is my focus. Now, you keep this shit up, you will become my problem and you will become my focus. You do not want that.
Oh, now we're getting someplace. The real Evelyn Reed's finally showing up.
Oh, and look at the craftsmanship on your neckline. See?
Takes his collar in her hands.
If you really think I'm so clever, maybe you shouldn't be trying to make me angry, Fred. Just let me be. Back off.
You threatening me?
No, Fred. I consider you a friend. Please don't put me in this position.
What's that supposed to mean?
The problem for bullies like you is that sometimes you push the wrong person too far and then you have to deal with the consequences.
I'm guessing this is what your husband meant by a history of duplicitous behavior.
About a month ago, I was repeatedly subjected to your unwanted sexual advances.
What?
You sent me pornographic pictures, text messages of its sexual nature. I asked you to stop. You were so horribly persistent all night long until I threatened to involve the police. You called me a frigid bitch.
What the hell are you talking about?
I still have all the messages saved on my phone. My call history and phone bill clearly show they came from your number. Don't you remember? The next day, Roberta found your phone in her purse.
Jesus Christ.
You already broke a kid's wrist, Fred. A sexual harassment would end your career. And you don't seem like a guy with a lot left to lose. Toby's right, isn't he? Not setting a place for Freddie Jr. this Christmas?
Back off, Evelyn.
Calm down, Fred. Never show where you're from. Someone could take advantage.
Candace and Roberta return, followed by Toby carrying an upholstered chair.
Toby, watch the door frame.
How the hell did you get this here by yourself?
I know an excellent car service. My driver's a former student.
The phone rings.
Metzger, 704. Thank you.
Is it a hearing?
Yeah.
Well, hell, I guess I didn't need the chair.
They're ready for you, Fred.
Fred is caught in a single spotlight.
Good afternoon, Mr. DeSalvo.
Coach DeSalvo, if you don't mind.
Our apologies, Mr. DeSalvo. Only legal titles are allowed on the record. My name is Miss Atwood. These are my colleagues, Mr. Clintock, Mr. Akhtar, and Dr. Sinofsky. We appreciate you coming in. According to your file, you were suspended from your position as a football coach and health physical education teacher at PS 201 Eleanor Roosevelt High School, Sunnyside. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You have been accused of using unnecessary force and disrupting an altercation between students, resulting in the injury of a minor child. The agreement with the minor child's family waives pressing criminal charges, provided satisfactory disciplinary action is taken by this committee. Mr. DeSalvo, would you care to address the charge against you?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Atwood, and the rest of you too. Look, those minor children, as you describe them, each weigh close to 200 pounds. One of them got kicked off the wrestling team for gouging his opponent's eyes, and the one who ended up with a broken wrist is repeating the 10th grade because he missed 4 months of school while he was in juvie. And those minor children decided, for fun, to pounce on Danny Copeland. That boy weighs $120, soaking wet, barely talks above a whisper. Danny Copeland gets hit at home. And by somebody who knows the right way to do it. Take a belt to his back, his butt, the back of his legs, clothes, cover it up. But I've seen him in the locker room because he's always the last one to dress out for gym class. Somebody's been trying to toughen that boy up, hoping he'll change, or if he won't change, he'll at least stand up for himself. But boys like him just end up broken. I won't fight back. Those two teenage thugs want somebody to fight. Seems to me it ought to be somebody their own size. And in that building, I'm about the only one who fits the bill. So yeah, I used force, but it wasn't unnecessary. Somebody's got to make these kids leave kids like Danny Copeland alone. I mean, they can't help it the way they are. We handled this wrong. They grow up knowing that when we were in a position to defend them, we couldn't be bothered. They'll hate us and blame us for their misery. We'll have to answer why we didn't do something to make their lives just a little easier. You know, look, I'm a good teacher. I love what I do. I hurt that overgrown punk, and I'm sorry, but Jesus help me. We're supposed to be preparing these kids for something more than tests. We're supposed to prepare them for life. And I don't know how to help kids like Danny Copeland survive out there. And if they don't survive, it's on our hands. And sometimes they don't survive. You understand that? You know what parents go through when one of those kids decided no one's on their side and they choose not to survive? Please, you know, we can sit here in judgment of me. You must have some kind of answers. Help me do something that actually works, because I keep looking for an answer and all I'm finding are the wrong ones.
Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. 2 months later, it's just before Valentine's Day. Paper hearts are strung, canvases have been hung featuring amateur paintings. Evelyn, Lila, Roberta, Toby, and a very pregnant Candace are gathered together. Roberta is seated in her chair. The women all hold stacks of paper. Toby holds his laptop computer. They are all reading aloud.
Hudson, don't come any closer. There's a sonic force field surrounding me that will destroy your mind.
Captain Logan, are you hurt?
The force field is powered with testosterone. Our crew is being held captive in the catacombs. The Queen is using them as fuel.
Our men aren't going to be batteries for these Amazon psychos.
You've got to find a way to get me down. The Queen's going to enslave me and give me wings like the rest of them.
Not on my shift, Captain.
Foolish man, why have you come here?
You're the women from the river.
Captain Logan belongs to the Queen now. If you attempt to rescue her, you will be captured and put to use.
The pain you will endure is beyond human comprehension. You must go.
Yes, John, just go. Save yourself.
We have already lost our entire crew. Captain Logan is all I have left. We are going back to Earth.
How unfortunate that your human emotions prevent you from doing what is reasonable.
You had emotions once, before you were enslaved. You both did. Please, I love her.
Yes! Oh, I knew he loved her. Oh, Toby.
Hush, keep reading. When do I come back in?
Tanta is unmoved, but a flicker of emotion registers in Lozera's face. A single tear forms in her eye and rolls down her cheek. Her wings spread wide, and she grabs John, lifting him into the air, hiding him on a small ledge in the rock formation.
Stay here, John Hudson. Be silent.
John, Whatever happens, know that I love you too.
A rumble in the distance grows louder. Ikanta and Lozarus fall to the ground. A figure in the distant sky grows larger until we see that it is the queen, flying with the speed of a comet, her black wings unfurled. She is breathtaking in her majestic terror. She descends and lands on her feet without a sound.
Rise, slave girls. Why have you traveled so far into the barren lands? What service will you be to your ruler here?
Your Majesty, we are Ekanta and Losira, guards of the Eastern Tower. We received a report that the man of Earth, John Hudson, might be found here, attempting to free the prisoner.
Who gave this report?
Oh, I forgot the name. Young, blonde, big white wings.
That would be all of you.
Yes, Your Majesty. I think that's why it's so hard to remember. Perhaps we wore name badges like Earth people do.
Insolence! Do you not fear your own death? I will wear down upon you with the fire of 10,000 suns. Beware the hellhounds of your monarch's curse. Toby, now she talks like a queen. You read the Oresteia.
I took your advice.
That line is pure Clytemnestra. Oh, this is fabulous. The fire of 10,000 suns. Aeschylus himself would have used that.
Have a flair, Toby.
Yeah, I don't normally enjoy these sorts of films, but I would go for this one. If only to see the Queen's floating ice palace.
You don't think that's too Narnia? I was worried it was overkill.
I don't think so. It makes sense that she'd live in a floating ice castle. I buy that.
She's very removed from the world she rules. Cold, hard. It's all very fitting.
But her spy, the smoke beast, you totally ripped that off from Lost.
That TV show doesn't have a monopoly on evil smoke monsters.
Actually, they kind of do. It'd be like putting the yellow brick road in there. That's somebody else's game.
What if it were a monster made of ice crystals? The slave girls would know they're being watched when it gets cold.
That's not bad.
Somebody help me up. Captain Logan needs to pee.
Evelyn helps her out of her chair. Lila pulls a binder from her knitting bag. Candace exits.
Toby, can we go back to the scene just before the core explosion on Omega 7? I made a few notes. Now, nothing major. Just a question about the timeline.
Sure.
Come over here.
She heads for the desk. Toby follows.
You know, she's angling for more lines.
Well, that's just unfair. Ever since Roberta found her inner Faye Dunaway, our parts are getting smaller and smaller.
It's all right. I read ahead. She dies in 12 pages at the hands of her own slave girls.
Good. She deserves it.
Hold on. I've got a different version on the assault on the fortress where the queen comes in earlier so she knows Captain Logan isn't dead.
Ooh, I like that idea. Give me that earlier.
Oh, hey, look at this. For my clandestine instruction, my students have been working on Dali. Oh, I had them create works in their style inspired by their everyday things. This is Jerome's. He works at Burger King. Look at this detail.
That's amazing. And it makes me feel really terrible about our work on the walls.
Well, he's been studying under me for years.
Well, we will too at this rate. All the money I'm spending on a lawyer, the meetings with the union, nothing's helping.
You'll have your chance, Evelyn. We're all in the same boat.
Somewhat. Oh, and now I'm not getting paid, by the way. I have direct deposit. My paycheck didn't go through on the 7th. Are they trying to make it so intolerable that we'll all just quit?
Well, some people do. I mean, Harold, the teacher who was here before you, he got sick of waiting. Now he works at the library.
No, I've got to have a hearing. I need them to put on paper that it's all untrue, or there's always going to be people wondering, you know?
Damn it, Toby. You're not staying consistent with the allegory here. Is she a metaphor for the powerless role of women in society, or a commentary on the abuse of influence by the underqualified? Who's your queen? Hillary Clinton or Sarah Palin? Just helping Toby.
Of course.
So Evelyn, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Anything special?
We haven't talked about it. We'll do dinner, I guess.
But it's tomorrow night. You haven't planned anything for tomorrow night?
Not yet. We're spontaneous. What about you?
Oh, we drive up and hang out with some old hippies. It's delightful. Back when we were young and beautiful, well, we'd have a Lupercalia fest on the 15th. That wasn't anything paganism about it. It's just that we didn't want to admit we were, celebrating Valentine's Day. We were so countercultural, of course. Oh, well, you're still young and beautiful. Make sure you don't pass up those chances to dance around naked in the snow, because you'll be glad for the memories.
Oh, wait, what did I miss?
Oh, Lila was just telling me to dance around naked in the snow.
Don't do that. And Lila, at your age, you should know better.
Oh, well, we don't do it anymore. Now we just pass a joint and talk about it, which is, what old hippies do. But, we all share the same memories, so it feels like we're doing it again.
You're funny.
All the people at the old house, they couldn't believe when Ezra and I wanted to be monogamous, live alone, move to the city. But that feeling of shared memories, communal experience, we wanted to have that just between us. I mean, isn't that the delight of marriage? Isn't it?
Of course.
This has to be tough for the two of you. I mean, with what that awful girl accused you of, your husband must be pretty special standing beside you.
He's a good man.
We'll take time tomorrow and make sure you let him know.
Candace returns.
Move, someone's coming.
What?
There's 2 people from the DOE doing spot checks on the room.
Oh man, go, go, go.
Shit, it's the fuzz.
A flurry of activity. Roberta tears down the Valentine hearts. Candace makes her desk presentable. Lila stashes her binder and grabs her knitting. Evelyn pulls a book of crossword puzzles from her purse. Toby sits in his chair and types, and Roberta sits reading.
This must be what Anne Frank felt like.
Ugh. I never liked Anne Frank's diary. Hated teaching it.
You're not allowed to say you hate Anne Frank, Roberta.
Why not? I dare say I wouldn't care for any book written by a pre-adolescent girl.
You say these things just to be controversial. One day I'm going to be starting to record you just so you can hear how horrible you sound sometimes.
It'd be a hell of a lot more interesting than that diary.
You stop. I don't want them to walk in and hear you bad-mouthing Anne Frank, for God's sake. Just sit there and be quiet.
Is this really what we used to do in here?
Shh, Toby.
Sure, it's all right if we have a conversation, but I do agree we should refrain from slandering Anne Frank.
I don't know what they want. Just stay quiet.
You're the proctor. You know the rules. Talking is okay.
I don't actually know the rules. I wasn't trained. All those rules you used to follow, I just made up.
You little devil.
When they come in, can we ask about our hearings?
Yeah, that ought to be good for a laugh.
What if there's something you're supposed to be doing and nobody told me? Oh God, this is so bad.
I don't think they're coming.
Why would they check a janitor's closet?
Because we're not really a janitor's closet, and they know that because this is their building.
The phone rings.
Oh God, we're busted!
Oh my God. Candace, calm down. We haven't been doing anything wrong.
People checking rooms, phones ringing. What is going on?
Answer the phone, Candace.
Metzger 704. Reed? Yes. Oh, hold on. Evelyn?
Yeah?
It's payroll. What bank are you with?
Chase.
Chase. Okay. Evelyn, they've got you listed as Middlesex Savings Bank.
Well, that's not me.
That's not her. It's Chase.
Middlesex Saving is in Massachusetts. My grandparents live in Bedford.
Want to ask your grandmother to pick up my paycheck? Might be more efficient.
Got it. They said to bring in a voided check tomorrow. God, that was close. I thought it was a hearing.
Candace, the hearings are good. We want hearings.
The hell we do.
Well, fine. Everybody but Roberta wants a hearing.
I don't want anyone to leave. I like the way things are. Maybe they will think we're a janitor's closet. Everybody stay quiet.
Toby, use this experience to inform you as a dramatist. We are cowering in fear, just like astronaut John Hudson hiding from the alien queen.
You know, I hope you use your screenwriting talents to inspire students when you get back to the classroom, dear.
I hope you'll use your screenwriting talents to become a screenwriter.
Both.
No, he couldn't do both. He can't. Toby, you enjoy screenwriting. Do that.
I'll be fine. I just got to be more creative, I guess. Find a way to work around the system. I could enjoy it eventually.
Eventually. That sounds fulfilling.
I like teaching. It's the school system I can't stand.
Fred used to say that.
Fred used to say a lot of things.
You can be a sci-fi writer who teaches school to pay the bills until you're famous, Toby.
That's not uncommon. That's what Daniel Marcos did.
Who's Daniel Marcos?
Taught algebra at my school back in the 80s while he was trying to make it as a songwriter.
And now he's a songwriter?
No, he's dead. Died of alcohol poisoning. Alone, broken, miserable, dreams unfulfilled. But things might be different for you, Toby. Go ahead and try to do both.
Roberta, you are hardly in a position to criticize someone who's doing a job they don't want.
I'm encouraging him to be solution-minded, Lila. I wasn't happy in my classroom, so I found a solution.
Maybe I should just go back and drop a few F-bombs on the Catholic kids.
No, they just fired you. Roberta can get away with it because everybody's afraid of mean old ladies.
This is true.
Toby, just do what's going to make you happy.
Absolutely. Follow your dream.
No, Toby, dreams are nice, but life is based on plans. Do what makes sense. When you have your hearing, tell them what they want to hear. Keep your job while plotting your next move, okay? Safety first.
Is that what John Proctor would have done?
No, John Proctor showed honor and told the truth.
Yes, and look what happened to him. You know who turns out okay at the end of the crucible? Abigail Williams. She tries to work within the system, and then she tries to control it, and when it gets too much, she grabs some cash and gets on the next boat out of town.
And you call that a happy ending?
She's the only one in the play who even has a potential for a happy ending because she always has a plan B, ready to go. Smart girl.
What an interesting take, Evelyn.
The phone rings.
Oh, God!
Stop that!
Maybe it's payroll again.
Metzger, 704. Yes, thank you.
Well, is it time?
Yeah, for Roberta.
Roberta is caught in a single overhead light.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Burke. My name is Miss Atwood. These are my colleagues, Mr. Stinson, Ms. Rabinowitz, and Dr. Loughlin. We appreciate you coming in. According to your file, this is your 4th suspension from your position as an English teacher at PS 482 Paul Robeson Complex, Bronx. Is that correct?
Yep.
Mrs. Burke, in the last 2 years, you have been suspended for using profanities in the presence of students with alarming frequency. Do you care to explain?
Yes, Miss Atwood. In recent years, I found myself unprepared for the change in attitudes of my students, as well as the shifting expectations of my own position as their instructor. I allowed my own frustration to lead to a series of unfortunate...
Mrs. Burke, based upon your psychological evaluation and interviews with your colleagues and the consistency of these incidents, the board has determined you are either disinterested or incapable of maintaining a healthy learning environment. We find you are no longer fit for the service in New York Public Schools.
Look, Atwood, I might have taken this too far, but I am fully capable of educating my students.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Burke, but the facts prove otherwise.
Please, I'm 3 months away from retirement.
You were. That is no longer the case.
You can't do this. What am I supposed to do?
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Burke.
Blackout.
But
Scene 2. 7 weeks later, Toby and Evelyn are hanging baby shower decorations.
Is it weird to give a shower for someone if she's giving away the baby?
I don't think so. People like presents, no matter the occasion.
What'd you get her?
Shoes. Really great shoes. The reward for her being able to see her feet again. How about you?
An iPad.
Toby, that's so expensive.
Well, that way while she's out on leave, she can watch movies or chat online with, whoever.
Very thoughtful. But gosh, Toby, who will she know who's available to chat in the middle of the day? Let me think.
We're just friends, Evelyn.
I didn't say otherwise.
You're smirking.
You're blushing.
She's a nice person.
Absolutely.
Hey, Evelyn, when your husband asked you out, how did he do it?
The usual way. He just came up and asked, You've asked a girl out before, haven't you?
Of course I have. It's just that no one's ever said yes. Just wanted to hear how it happens when it works.
Oh, Toby, we worked together. We had the same lunch period, so we sat together in the cafeteria and we got to know each other. Eventually, he asked me out to a movie. It just sort of grew from there. You've already laid the groundwork. Candace would be crazy not to spend time with you.
Your husband's a teacher?
Yes, algebra and geometry.
Do you still teach at the same school?
We did when I was still there.
Wow, it must be hard for you guys with what the girl accused you of, him still having to see her every day.
It was. He changed schools. He's not there anymore.
The best thing, probably.
It made sense.
Will he go back when you do?
We'll see. He really likes the new job.
Is he gonna...
Oh, we're out of tape. There's no one in the room next door. Can you go steal theirs?
Oh, sure.
Toby exits. Lila enters with the pastry box.
Good morning.
Hey, got the cupcakes?
I did. And I thought of the best gift. I mean, besides the blanket, which is really for the baby, I got her a salon appointment for a manicure and a pedicure. I mean, all the things you can't do when you're pregnant.
Toby returned the tape dispenser.
Good
Got
morning, Toby. You look very nice.
Well, a party and all. Evelyn, want to get these streamers up?
Roberta enters with a gift in hand.
Ah, so good to be home.
Oh, Roberta, dear, I'm so glad you came.
Lila hugs Roberta, which causes her to stiffen.
What else do I have to do with my day? I can't believe I had to get here so GD early for Candace. So no more hearings, obviously.
Not since yours. What'd you get her?
A neck massager.
Oh, lovely, and only mildly inappropriate.
It'll keep her out of trouble when used properly.
I don't get it.
You don't want the explanation, especially from Roberta.
Candace walks in.
Shit.
What?
Oh no.
Why are you here so early?
Surprise!
What?
It's a party.
Ta-da!
Party for what?
It's a baby shower before your tenant moves out.
Surprise!
But Oh my God, you guys. And Roberta came to a party for me? Oh my God, I love you all so much. And there's cupcakes.
Oh, sweetie.
He takes Candace's arm and leads her to Roberta. Roberta stares at her.
What?
Get up. That's the comfy chair.
Yeah, that's why I brought it here.
It always comes back to the chairs.
It's fine, just bring me my chair.
Toby brings her the desk chair and she sits.
So Candace, how much longer?
Well, Friday's my last day, and then it's just, oh, anytime.
Have you found a home for it yet?
It's a baby, not a puppy, Roberta.
Same principle, similar process. I had to do 2 interviews to get my last cat.
She found a cool couple. We all looked at the finalist applications together.
They seem like nice people.
Well, I hope you were creative and went with gays or something.
Their names are Tim and Allison. He works in drywall.
Which pays much better than you'd think.
And Allison's co-owner of a cupcake bakery in Williamsburg. They're going to put a nursery in the back so she can bring the baby to the bakery. Isn't that sweet?
Candace gets free cupcakes for life.
You traded that baby for cupcakes.
Allison's also a cancer survivor. She had a hysterectomy at 26. A lot of agencies won't take them because, well, you know.
The cancer might come back.
But I thought about what you said. Perfectly healthy people get cancer after they have kids. And she already fought it once and won. Who's to say she wouldn't survive again if it came back? I just felt like I was their best shot, you know? They want a kid real bad.
All right. You can have the comfy chair.
Really?
Oh, Christ, just take the GD chair and don't talk to me for a second.
Roberta goes to the door with her back to the room.
I didn't mean to upset her.
You didn't. You didn't upset her. She's experiencing gratitude. I don't think she knows what to do with it.
Just let her go through it. It's all very new and confusing.
Candace, you want a cupcake?
Oh, yes, please.
I have news! I forgot! I got an email from another student of mine. Oh, she got into Cal Arts.
Don't you know this is driving your principal nuts?
Well, it's a mixed blessing, really. I mean, now they'll think they don't need me, so they don't even have to keep the program. I may have instructed my way right out of a job. I mean, it's great for my kids. You know, I heard St. Andrews is hiring.
You should go for it, Lila. They'd be lucky to have you.
It would be nice to teach again, but without hiding in Toby's corner with his laptop.
You will apply. Face it, Lila, you're a lifer. You'll never retire. A room full of adoring students is essential to your survival, which is just so bizarre.
And she's back.
And what about you, Roberta? You getting by okay?
Never better. I had my savings, and one of my former students is a doctor. She diagnosed me with dementia. So now I can fight for wrongful termination due to disability.
Oh my God, Roberta, you do not have dementia. You are frighteningly aware.
Oh, who can say for sure? If you look at yourself closely for long enough, you can find a nice pocket of crazy. Toby, is my screenplay done?
I brought you a copy. I'm in a writer's workshop on Tuesday nights.
It's so great. Like blockbuster James Cameron movie great.
Evelyn, that lawyer you can't afford doing you any good yet?
Trying. Everybody's trying.
Evelyn had to see the shrink.
Oh, you should have called me. I've been in there a dozen times. I made him cry once.
And Natalie Clark, my favorite student, she had to be evaluated too. I could have gone in quacking like a duck and I'd still seem more reliable than her. I feel great about my hearing. If I could ever have the damn thing.
I'd be sad if I came back and you weren't here.
Any of us could be gone.
Toby's right. Any of us could get a hearing, or Lila could get that job.
No, it's not that. I got a job. The Natural History Museum was hiring tour guides, so I figured, what the hell, you know? And I got it. It'll be like teaching without the school crap. Evelyn was right. I needed a plan B.
Well, Toby, I mean, that's wonderful.
You're leaving? How long have you known?
Last Wednesday. But I don't start till the 15th, so I figured I'd stick around here, collect another check.
I taught you well.
And without papers to grade or anything, I can write in my off time.
We'll miss you, Toby.
Yeah, we will.
I'll miss you too.
Oh, this is growing ridiculous. You two are like a Jane Austen novel, one of the lesser works.
Guys, could I have a minute alone with Candace?
Of course.
Alone? Where are we supposed to go?
Everyone, come look at the cupcakes.
Lila, Evelyn, and Roberta go to the desk, then listen intently.
Candace, what I mean is...
The phone rings.
Oh, come on. He's so close.
I have to get that. I forgot to call in my absentee report.
Sure, yeah.
He helps her stand, and she makes her way to the desk for the phone.
Metzger, 704. Sorry. I've got Watkins, Lila, and Burke, Roberta. I mean, no, I don't have her. What? I meant Reed, Evelyn, and... Oh, yeah. Okay. Toby, guess who's first hearing of the day? You don't have to go if you don't wanna.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I could just go home.
Toby Fleming, if you don't go into that hearing, I will never forgive you.
Why?
Because you're the only one of us who's not going in on bended knee, begging for your job. Now you go in there and you say something for the rest of us. You say something.
Okay. Lila, I can do that.
Attaboy.
All right, I'm going in. I'll miss you guys.
You're going to do great. Make us proud, Toby.
Oh, Lila's students. She needs
Lila can use my laptop. It's fine.
We'll see you at your opening of your movie, and I expect tickets.
I expect to be cast.
Candace.
Yes, Toby?
I think I'm a little bit in love with you.
That's good. I think that's really good.
Maybe more than a little.
That's even better.
You want to go out sometime?
Yes. I mean, I gotta have this baby, but after that, I'm totally free.
Great.
Unless you want to, come to that, the baby thing. It'll take a while, and it'd be nice to have. I thought my sister might, but she's a really terrible person. So I could use the company. I'm pretty sure there'll be cupcakes.
That sounds awesome. That'd be the coolest first date ever.
Jesus, they're made for each other.
Well, have a good hearing, Toby. Go kick ass.
She kisses him.
That committee won't wait.
You're a writer, Toby. Use your words.
Okay. I'm ready.
Overhead light on Toby.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fleming. My name is Miss Atwood. These are my colleagues, Mr. Mandari, Dr. Shamant, and Mrs. Fothergill Moreno. We appreciate you coming in. According to your file, you were suspended from your position as a science teacher at PS 271 Yonkers following a classroom outburst that resulted in destruction of school property. Is that correct?
Sounds about right, Miss Atwood.
Would you care to explain your actions?
Explain them? Nah, that's okay. Thanks, though. See, Miss Atwood, Mr. Bondari, and Dr. whatever, Mrs. awkward hyphenated name, I don't see any point in defending my actions to people whose opinions don't matter to me. None of you are qualified to tell me if I belong in a classroom because you don't have the balls to get in there and do it. You have no concept. You assign ratings and guidelines like they actually mean something, and you sit at a folding table in a little room, content with authority you never earned and plausible deniability. After all, you didn't put this system in place. It was the mayor. It was the unions. It was government announcing no child would be left behind. Bullshit. You did it with your votes. You did it when you got the new guidelines and didn't take to the streets and protest. You did it when you let them cut the arts and music and independent thought from our classrooms. What the hell do we pay you people for? Your system is broken. It's failing the teachers and the students. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. Fix it. This is why I'm going to write sci-fi movies, so I can still inspire imaginations and a love for science without people like you getting in the way. Which is a shame, really, because when you lose the people who are as pissed off as I am, nothing's going to change. Who's going to fight to save these kids from idiots like you? If you really cared about these kids' future, you'd send me back to my classroom and let me do my job.
So don't quit.
I'm sorry?
Stay. Save them from idiots like us. Or leave and lose any right to criticize. It's your choice, Mr. Fleming. Where do you belong?
I belong in my classroom.
Good. Welcome back.
Blackout. Scene 3. 3 weeks later, the decorations are gone. Evelyn is curled up in the comfy chair reading a book. Lila enters.
Any calls?
Oh, you're funny. How'd it go?
I was the oldest one there.
You were the most experienced one there.
Yeah. You know how, what amazed me was the smell. Public schools smell like urinal cakes, but one grows accustomed to it at times. But St. Andrews, it smelled like old books and saddle soap. It was extraordinary.
Aw, Lila, you'd be so happy there.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's plenty of applicants, and oh my God, it would be so good to teach again.
Of course.
Candace called me on my cell to ask me about the interview.
How is Candace?
She's home resting. She's all right, a little sad, but all right. She'll be coming back next week.
Think we can keep up the charade until then?
Excuse me?
Oh, playing pretend proctor.
Oh, of course. Toby's been sleeping on her sofa since it's closer to his school, but they're watching Breaking Bad together.
Oh God, she really should get cable before she gets herself into trouble again.
By the way, Elena sent her regards.
Elena?
Mrs. Vargas, the guidance counselor at your school. I used to work with her, remember?
I didn't know you'd talk to her.
You know, I had the bright idea to use her as a reference. I mean, she owed me one.
Elena's so thoughtful. I'm sure she gave you a great recommendation.
Yeah, she said your students were doing well.
That's a great relief.
They miss you. And your husband.
I'm sure they do. He's a good teacher.
That's what Elena said. One of the most popular instructors before he left. Elena was a reference for him as well.
Wow. Elena's a great reference for everyone, isn't she?
Said she hasn't spoken to him since January when he moved to Massachusetts.
Yeah. You can tell her he's doing really well.
You're telling me he couldn't find a teaching position here in New York?
No, Lila, I'm not telling you anything. Elena is telling you things because she's apparently much more interested in talking about my life than I am.
You and You and whatever may have happened in your marriage is not Elena's concern, and it certainly isn't any of mine.
Thank you.
Students, however, are another matter altogether. She told me about Natalie Clark. Word got out about what she'd said, and everyone believed she lied.
As Roberta said, there's nothing more dangerous than a child who lies.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, but Natalie has been in Elena's office all year, of her own accord, begging to be believed.
Tell a lie often enough, you can convince yourself it's the truth.
Oh, yeah, you can. But the truth also comes out, doesn't it? I'm glad Elena established some kind of dialogue with her. I mean, those types only become more suspicious of authority with time. A teacher has a responsibility to be an advocate, especially for kids nobody wants to listen to.
Actually, Lila, a teacher's responsibility is to inspire a love of your subject matter. That's the job. You seem to have forgotten that. At the end of the year, my students love history. Your students love you. That's why mine did just fine without me, and yours can't get by without sneaking in and getting coached by you. You interfered to the point of distraction. I don't mean to be harsh, but you might want to think about that before going back into the classroom.
It's an interesting point.
The phone rings.
Metzger, 704. Yeah. Sure. My God, it's time for my hearing.
I know.
I can't believe it. What? How would you know?
I'll be speaking at your hearing.
Really? That's unusual.
Elena gave me the opportunity to speak to Natalie Clark directly. She's a very troubled girl, but well, my mother used to say she could smell a lie on us like liquor. And I didn't smell a lie.
And you believe your infallible nose for truth qualifies you to speak at my hearing?
Yeah, I've had students like you, Evelyn. Overachieving girls from bad homes. I mean, you built yourself a good life, and your instinct is to maintain it, and you'll fight dirty to do it. I understand that. But you can't do that at the expense of a child.
I had teachers like you, Lila. Meddling busybodies who pass judgment on everyone under the guise of being magnanimous. You have no right to interfere. You are not involved in any of this. Please, Lila, I don't want to fight you. Look, not every one of your kids who wanted to get into a great arts program managed to do it. Do you consider those kids a failure?
No, because my investment in each student was the same.
Still, you don't say, some of my kids go to Pratt and Parsons and some end up doing nothing with their lives. You focus on the successes and recognize that some students are simply beyond your help. Cut your losses. Natalie Clark is a habitual liar, and she's dealing with the consequences of that.
Except in this instance, she's telling the truth.
She's a liar, Lila. I've got a stack of letters from people who back that up. Her own mother says she's a liar, and I don't deserve this.
But Evelyn, this time, it's the truth. She's not lying.
How is it fair to watch my life fall apart over a piece of trash like Natalie Clark? She gains nothing. I lose everything.
Because she's telling the truth. Because she's not lying, and if she isn't supported when she tells the truth, she'll never see the point of doing it again. It's our job. She isn't a lost cause.
As far as I'm concerned, she is. I just want to get past this and try to put my life back together.
Evelyn, I'm sorry, but you don't get to do that.
You don't want to do this, Lila. If I have to fight you, I will win.
Oh, I'm sure you have a backup plan for me too. Anyone who thinks Abigail Williams is the hero of the Crucible is bound to be no shortage of machinations at her disposal. I mean, look at what you tried at Fred.
Of course, you've been talking to Fred.
I emailed him to invite him to Candace's baby shower. I didn't have his number, but apparently you did.
You don't actually believe I did that, do you? With the messages? Lila, I made that up on the spot to scare him. I had to shake him up so he'd mind his own business. My God, you should know me better than that.
Yeah, I agree. I should. Fred's doing well, by the way. He took an anti-bullying workshop as part of his agreement to return to school, and now he's one of the instructors.
Good for him.
Atonement is a powerful thing. Fred has come so far. He came to terms with the truth about his son. He tried to force a lie all those years, and the only message his son received was that he was somehow fundamentally flawed. Because he was being raised by a man who was obsessed with turning a lie into the truth. Fred lost his son. How much are you willing to lose?
I don't know, Lila. You seem to think you're in a position to decide how much I lose.
I just want you to take responsibility for the choices you've made.
I do. I own every choice I've made, but I'll be damned if I roll over and give in because of this. You have no right to do this. Roberta screws the system from every angle. You celebrate it. We sneak around so Candace gets paid maternity leave. That's fine. We pretend we're in a janitor's closet. You leave the sign up. Why doesn't your precious moral compass go haywire on any of that?
Because no one's getting hurt by that.
That is not your call to make, you hypocritical bitch. You know what? I didn't do anything. Not one thing. I don't have to go on the defensive. They have the burden of proof.
And they have me. We'll leave it up to them to sort out what's true. But I will not be silenced, no matter what you make up about me.
Lila, come on. I don't have to make up anything about you. You have no credibility. You have a recorded history of insubordination. You've had contact with your students for the past 5 months. It's all saved on my laptop. Then tracking down my students, coercing them into your version of the truth. That's sketchy behavior from a woman I'm fairly certain would fail a drug test. You'll lose your job and your teaching certificate. No St. Andrews and saddle soap smell for you. I really like you, Lila. You're a well-intentioned person. But face the facts. I would rebuild in a new career. I'm likable. I'm clever. I'm still young enough to dance in the snow.
You are clever.
You're too old to start over. Think of your husband. You'll lose your pension, and Ezra will have to work to support you until the day he dies. Or you'll become a burden on your girls. Does your family deserve that? System is a disaster anyway. A few years from now, you can retire, celebrate your successes, and know you did the best you could. Or, if you really think it's worth it, you can walk in there and blow up your own life just to keep me out of my classroom and support an undeserving lost cause. I wish you well. I know you don't believe that, but I do. You're a smart woman, Lila. You'll do what's best.
Evelyn exits. Lila makes a decision. End of play.
Everybody come on back. That's the end. Oh my God. Monica Ray, you terrify me.
It's not real.
Everyone, that was really friggin' amazing. That was absolutely fantastic. You guys all did such an incredible job. Oh my goodness. I enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Monica, I'm not sure. I don't think you should talk to anyone. Go stand in a corner somewhere. Julia Botero and Carla Briscoe, why don't you, before I make my announcements for the next couple of weeks, why don't you do a little recap? I thought they did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
I thought they were all, I thought they were all spectacular. They are an incredible group of actors. I mean, just the caliber of work that you all did tonight. for very limited rehearsal. If people don't know, I mean, this was all accomplished in a matter of, I think we had two fairly brief rehearsals, like 4 hours. So that they were able to embody these characters like they did is really phenomenal. And you brought the story to life. I mean, you would have thought you'd been rehearsing it for a month. It was really great, you guys, and beautiful work, very moving, moved to tears, moved to laughter. So thank you guys for doing such wonderful work. You should be so proud of yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say thank you to Michelle Fix, who just joined us like just a few seconds ago, basically, and helped us out with stage direction. So thank you so much for the last minute. We really appreciate it. And thank you to the entire cast. We're so happy. We saw all of you when we were casting this, and we're so happy for it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for accepting our invitation, and to Carla Briscoe for your sharp eye that led and co-created with us.
And patience.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Thank you so much. And welcome, Michelle, and welcome, Pierre. Please come back. We do a monthly lab every, the third Friday in the month. We do playwrights present new work, and we have actors sign up and come on and perform. And it's a really great evening of new work. And we are just getting ready to cast the next lab, which is Friday, August 21st on this YouTube channel. You can catch us right here, co-hosted by Miley Binion. And the playwrights are Erin Mohan, Ben Dworkin, Maura Kelly, Evan Edwards, Natalie Nekifaro, and David Michael Kirby. And there is actually on our website, newambassadorstheater.com, as well as our Facebook page, a link. If you'd like to act in it, if you'd like to be considered for acting, you can go and fill in the doodle. And then that's in 2 Fridays. And next Friday is Friday Night Footlights number 11. And we're doing Moliere's Tartuffe, but it is translated and adapted by Frida Thomas. It's called Tartuffe Born Again, set in the American Southwest, curated by Mandy Murphy. And we will be casting that very shortly, but that's next week at 7:05, Friday Night Footlights number 11. And then again, the Friday after that is our Lab 28, which will be August 21st at 7:05. Both of those are on this YouTube channel. So please, please subscribe and come back and be entertained again. Guys, I'm just so blown away by your work tonight. It was so fantastic. So congratulations all around.
And thank you to David Adam Gill and the New Ambassadors Theater Company for this opportunity.
Oh, shucks. Thank you.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right. We're going to say goodbye to our audience. Everyone wave. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.